G'day legends, I hope you're having a great day or at least a great afternoon. How lucky are you? Twice in a day you get to see me. Now in the beginning of my last video I spoke about the rumours coming out about drone both in the water and in the air style drones and an attack against Crimea, the bridge, and rumours about a warship sinking. Well, just as that video has come out, maybe an hour or so later, we have more proof that a warship has gone down and the bridge now has been confirmed that it is reopened to traffic. So it does seem like there's been no damage to the bridge, but definitely that a ship has gone down. Now, within a few hours, we got evidence that this ship had been hit. This is why, with everything I say, wait till we have confirmation. Everyone has a smartphone. There's drones. There's cameras everywhere. Very quickly, we get visual confirmation of this. And this is why I'm a big doubter around the Su-34 aircraft that have gone down with zero evidence. Even this, which is a much, much bigger strategic loss than one of those aircraft of which Russia have over 100 of, we've got nothing of, but this we get almost instantly. But rant done, what we're going to do today is we're going to look over the footage of this. We're going to talk about the bridge and we're going to see exactly, I guess, the defense and how this actually works. But firstly, we'll look at the footage here. Now, this footage is brand new, and I've found one that doesn't have the watermark. Now, this is difficult to see. It's not just the screen. It's, yeah, you can look on the Telegram if you want to see just the video, but you can sort of see the outline here. Here is the ship. Now, we need some audio up in this, and you will see trace rounds going off as well. Now, why trace? Well, you use trace in lieu sometimes of sights. You can follow trace where your tracer rounds are actually hitting and indicate where things are to other guns, but also see where that is. Very common on larger guns. So you can see right here where that machine gun burst came out. That is where the ship is. You can see the trace moving then left to right across here. You can also hear ricochet, probably off the water. You can see more of that trace. Then we see the initial something hit. I'll watch this through and then we'll break it down. Then the explosion. So, right, this is what's interesting to me, is that right there. So we see the trace firing, that initial, and I think this may be some sort of delay charge to then set off a larger charge to then explode through. The way these ships work, these small drone boats, you'll see the term BEC. That just is translated, but it's uncrewed boat. It's written in Russian, but BEC just means uncrewed boat. The way these work is basically a shape charge, and it will have a delay to break in and then explode inside the ship. This is no different to ship munitions that have been around for a number of years. So there, and then the main explosion from these guys filming, and this has been released. But you can see then the machine guns kicking off there. Now, what exactly are these? Now, these guns to me sounds like something like this. This is a 14.5 mil Russian cannon. It's like the Russian version of our 50 cal gun. It's just 14.5. Ours is 12.7 mil. But these are used not only naval application, they're used in tanks, they're used in all sorts of different stuff. Very, very common gun. Now, let's have a look. Let's have a look at this. This was confirmed by the defense of Ukraine, being the Sergei Kotov with Magura V5 naval drones, or BECs, and they've said that it by Group 13. This is the ones that we've seen take down a ship last month, and saying it's worth around $65 million. Now we can look at then a Magura V5 drone here of these. Now, of course, these are a hell of a lot cheaper to make than ships, and of course the actual defense against these is incredibly limited. You may remember about 12 months ago when we saw another ship go down, I asked one of my friends who's in the Navy, who's an officer on ships, about what actually is, what would you guys do about these? And basically, look, if it's inside of the ship, it is machine guns on the deck. Really would try to pick it up out in the water somewhere and take, say, a helicopter off and try and engage it with that as far away from the ship as possible. But if it's in range of the ship, really machine gun. And expressing to me, these are becoming more of a problem as how simple these can be, how cheap they can be, and how deadly it's proven that they can be. So controlled via satellite, by Starlink, for those who are just assured to themselves that Elon is some level of Kremlin sympathizer. He could switch off the system. He's not. I think he has very different opinions to a lot of people, but at the end of the day, it's working off those systems, and 250 kilograms of explosives. Now, I think that first initial charge we see is like an initial charge to break into the side of the ship there, and then we see then the primary explosion go off. That's what I am reading this. Maybe that is the breaking of the charge, and then that is the magazine of the ship exploding. It also could be that, but that is just, yeah, that's just what I'm saying. Of course, then we have the Sergei Kotov here. But these drones have proven to be very, very efficient, and from my reading and people I speak to about these offline, use a lot of parts off, say, what do you see do things? Yeah, whatever they are, jet ski. Now, let's have a little bit of a look. So this, of course, is my running tally of the ships that have been taken down. Now, you'll see the ones with the X's. This one I actually haven't updated. This was the one that got taken down last time. The V on this means they have been damaged at some point. Now, we'll come over here into then these, and we see the Sergei Kotov here. So that one I will update at some point with an X through that as well. Now, the Sergei Kotov at some point actually was damaged as well. But let's say this is an X. We know this one's an X. This one's an X. You can see that the Black Sea Fleet is still fairly vast. There are, now, this to my eye is still up to, like this is how it is sitting at the moment. There's still a lot of ships involved in the Black Sea. If there's a ship or something wrong on this, please let me know. But it's not like the whole fleet is gone, although Ukraine is showing, like I said in my last video, that they are able to take down more and more of these ships with these drones, not only taking away a very important ship and an important asset to the Russian Black Sea Fleet, but also a massive PR win as well, when we see a lot of the media around the world is casting a lot of doubt into Ukraine being this shadow of sort of bad things happening with the Russian advances, with command problems, with money held up in America. So not only is it taking out an asset, which is important to deprive that asset, but it's also a big PR win. Never take away how important that is. And we'll see, probably published through the Russian channels, a heap of other strikes against Ukrainian equipment to try and like drown this out. Now, let's have a look here. Now, this is the Sergei Kotov. This is off actually a Russian site that is 91 meters in length, displacement of almost 2,000 tons, 2 of those 14.5mm machine guns. That is what we spoke about with this 176 naval gun at the front. Now, that gunfire that we hear, just the rate of fire and the sound of it when you have heard that stuff a lot, that is those 14.5mm guns shooting from someone on the deck. Now, this is off Wikipedia, so again, massive grain of salt. But Sergei Kotov was then built 2016. That was first in the water in 2021. Of course, in the Black Sea Fleet, was attacked in September 23 by Ukrainian sea drones, BECs, whatever you want to call them, and then it was damaged. I remember that happening because it was firstly reported as destroyed, now damaged. Now we have Russian channel here, Intel Slava Z, one of the very pro-Russian channels, is saying that this has sunk. We may get more footage of those coming out as well. Another breakdown of the weapons that are on this ship. But again, the main thing that's going to actually be against something like this is, of course, this 14.5mm guns here. But you can see that this can fire things like your caliber cruise missiles, which we have seen going out from the Black Sea into Ukraine, wreaking havoc. Now let's look at what then Syriac, oh my God, I'm too used to saying that, fighter bomber says. It can be stated that BECs, of course, uncrewed boats, have shown their highest efficiency, and accept that at the moment large ships cannot effectively resist these uncrewed boats. Large ships are very, very vulnerable to these. Speed, night, stealth, and the number of BECs participating in the attack solve issues with thermal images and additional fire weapons on board, and in general with everything. So nighttime. We always see these are hitting at night. Always. We always are seeing them in swarms. Again, very, very difficult to take down. When I spoke to someone in the Australian Navy specifically about this, was saying that these are a real problem for especially green water fleets. That in a blue water fleet that's out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, you've got a lot of range, a lot of distance. But somewhere like the Black Sea, green water, very close. For those unaware, you have brown, green, and blue water navies. The Black Sea fleet is, to my eye, a green water fleet. It's sort of contained in the Black Sea. And then you've got brown water, which is like Apocalypse Now, if you've seen that. And blue water will be, out in the middle of your bloody Pacific Ocean somewhere. So these are going to be most effective, they were telling me, against things like that, because they can work more effectively without delay and in bigger swarms like that. I don't know what conclusions can be drawn other than the fact that it's now necessary to accept the fact to move all large ships beyond effective range of the BECs, close to the mooring areas, with engineering means to prevent BECs from damaging ships at the berth, so something like gates. Transfer the tasks of the Black Sea Fleet to small and high-speed boats and boats type Raptor, submarines and aircraft. It's natural to speed up cutting your uncrewed boats along the way, around the clock testing somewhere in Vladivostok. Of course, that's way out to the east of Russia. Various options for defense, weapons, detection, guidance, and electronic warfare equipment on existing Navy ships, endlessly simulating BEC attacks. So actually training of how to negate this actually happening. I repeat, today we need to simulate not attacks by submarines or hypothetical enemy, but attacks by high-speed, small-sized targets and television guidance. Well, for the best, all this should be done as usual yesterday. So calling out that this training shouldn't be for against submarines or other blue water navies, that what is actually attacking here is this. What is actually taking down your ships, these BECs, these uncrewed, these surface level drones. So the training should be done he's saying way out in the east. That's where North Korea borders Russia, that they need to train out there and get on top of this. And you've got things like electronic warfare, machine guns are going to be very effective against these, and of course trying to pick them up before they enter around here. And of course Feodosia is way out around here. I should have shown you this right at the beginning, but they've been launched somewhere from Odessa, we're presuming, all the way into Feodosia in here. So these have traveled a minimum of, that's way too far out. Let's say it's just along here. Let's go 400 kilometers. Now, again, this can be different because we know where special forces are doing unconventional things around the place, but they have gone a hell of a long way. Now, Mr. Mears asked me this, Willie, what's your opinion about targeting a mostly civilian target like a bridge? Any bridge can be used by the military. And that's a really good question. And I believe this was asked in relation to the Kerch Strait Bridge here. Now, things like bridges in warfare, these are considered a dual-use target and can definitely be targeted. Same as energy grids, the same sort of thing. It's dual use. Now, of course, civilians use it, military use it, but these, at the end of the day, are a dual-use target. So this is what I was saying about the energy grid and the targeting from Russia into Ukraine, that, I believe it's unethical, it's unmoral. I believe the whole invasion is like that. Is that still a military target? Yes. It's not a war crime to target those systems, same as the bridge and same as if Russia hit bridges across the Dnipro as well. Now, to break this down, and this is out of the DoD Law of War Manual, in stating here in 5-6-1.2, is sustaining targets. It's not necessary that the object provide immediate tactical or operational gains, or that the object make an effective contribution to a specific military operation. Rather, the object's effective contribution to the war-fighting and war-sustaining capability of an opposing force is sufficient. Now, Kerch Strait Bridge definitely meets this. Is it going to have an effective contribution straight away? Maybe not. Is it going to have an effect on warfighting capability and sustainability? Absolutely. So completely a legit target. Terms like warfighting, war supporting, and war sustaining are not explicitly reflected in the treaty definitions of military objectives. The US has interpreted it, blah, blah, blah. But it 100% is. Now, this is what the ICRC says. Now, launching an attack which may be expected to cause incidental loss of civilian life, injury to civilians, or damage to civilian objects, or combination thereof, which would be excessive in relation to the concrete and direct military advantage anticipated, is prohibited. Now, this goes along what a lot of people are saying that we're seeing over Israel sort of way. That, okay, but how much civilian loss is there to damage one target? Does that actually meet the military advantage? Now, something like the Kerchak Bridge, absolutely no worries, meets this. Now, proportionality, it's all about proportionality in where we're talking about, but to dual-use military objectives like electrical power facilities. If an object is a military objective, it is not a civilian object and may be made the object of attack. However, it would be appropriate to consider in applying the principle of proportionality the harm to civilian population that is expected to result from the attack on such a military objective. It's all about proportionality on this, but at the end of the day, the civilian losses you're going to have hitting something like this, there's definitely going to be that, but the proportional then response to the military is going to see fit. And if you're interested, I've spoken to a lawyer exactly about this on a couple of podcasts, and we've broken that down. But this one pushed a lot longer than I was hoping. I was hoping it could be 5 minutes. Legends, look after yourself, and hopefully this corrects the video before. Thanks. Bye-bye.